Okay, so what we're going to go through now is the GPS replay feature in the map. So a lot of the type of assets we monitor are moving. The platform is very suitable for mobile assets. So anything that moves, trains, trucks, boats, planes, vehicles, cars, light goods vehicles, heavy goods vehicles, you name it. A key feature that people look for when tracking mobile devices is to get the context of where it has been and if there has been issues or problems with the asset over the last couple of days, well, where did those issues occur? So every single piece of data we collect from the devices in our system, we tag it with a timestamp so you know what time it happened at, but we also tag it with its GPS position so you know where that data occurred or where that incident occurred. And that gives us the advantage then that we can do what's called GPS replay, okay, to give you an insight into everything that happened on that vehicle. So if I look at here, again, we've got a vehicle, click on the pop-up. This is what we call the radial menu on the map. And this time I'm going to look at this item here, which is the GPS replay. This is how you launch the GPS replay. You just click that. So I'm going to click on it. And straight away it loads up, by default, it loads up the journey that the asset has been on today. Okay, so that's the default. So nothing much happening here with this today. So let me go back to yesterday. Okay, so this calendar right here, that's how you access any day in the history of this vehicle. You can keep going back as far as you want to in time, however long that you're storing data for. Okay, so it could be years, it could be months, whatever makes sense for your environment. So that's how you select the days. Let me just go back to another couple of days. So obviously you see there now on the 6th, you see the journey this asset took. So you can see it's clearly outlined. Go back another day and you can see multiple journeys. Just X that off again. Okay, so I'm going to go back Saturday, and you can go back through time any day on the calendar. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the 6th. Okay, so here it is. There's our GPS replay. So we have this time scale down here, and this is basically from midnight to midnight on the 6th, right? And one thing you can do is you can manually drag that, right? You can see on the map where the train is moving. So there was a bit of movement just after midnight, probably finishing its last journey of the day. And then there was, obviously, it stayed still for the rest of the night. And it started moving again. There you go, 5:30 a.m. in the morning, its first route. So it's going up and down from that route. It's probably going over and back, running the same route multiple times. And then you can see it goes on a loop around, probably slightly, so it's a different route that it takes in the evening at that time. Actually, 3 different routes in total if you look at the pattern. So what else can we say? If I just bring it back to the start again. Well, up here now, beside the star icon where we used to access the bookmarks, we now have also a little bell icon. This bell icon only appears in GPS replay mode. What is it? So if we click on it, you see this drop down. It brings down this panel, and basically that allows you to select alerts. So what it's telling us is there was alerts or incidents occurred during the day. So you can filter the type of incidents to show. So I say all critical alerts. Okay, we've actually got no critical alerts. All warning. And you can see I got a warning there and a warning there on the route. And all informational. And we can see we've got an info alert there and 2 info alerts down here. Now it's kind of hard to see, but if you look on the timeline down here, we actually have a little slice for where the events occurred on the timeline, so you know exactly, you can jump straight to them. I'm going to hide this bell. So the first thing you can do with an alert is you can actually just click on it, and it'll bring up information. And what it's doing here is, this is RSSI, so it's like signal strength. So the signal strength on the device went below an acceptable level, below minus 100, which is kind of a point where really you'd start losing your connection. This panel, which looks very similar to the device, the standard asset pop-up panel, but this one is more from the perspective of the event that occurred. So what it does is it loads the panel as it looked at that precise moment when the event occurred. So that's what you're seeing here. It's like a snapshot in time of that asset when the incident occurred, which can be very useful if you want to look at an event and see what else was happening on that device, see what other sensor data was telling you, or what other events were leading up to that event. You can get a good look to help you understand the incident that occurred using this panel. Okay, we also have an info alert there, which is that it restored. So that's obviously paired with the other one, where one alert give you a warning saying, hey, the threshold is breached, and then you have another alert very soon after it saying, actually all looks okay again. And that's something that's possible to configure in the rules engine. So these incidents would all have been configured in a rules engine, which if you jump to the rules engine section in the manual, you'll understand how to configure alerts like this, or incidents like this. So we can see, actually, if we look at the map, we got our warning there, and we got our restored there. So it during that period of time there, it was in a poor reception area. Okay. What else can we do? Well, we can replay the journey. If I click the play icon here, you can see that the asset starts to move. Okay, and it's by default it plays at 10x. You don't really want to have to wait around for 24 hours to replay your journey. What you can do as well is you can speed it up. I'm going to go to, there's 145x. Okay, and when it gets to a point of interest, we can pause it. We can see where it was. So what's really useful, even though that's a green alert and we're right on it right now, I know that alert was not at this time, because if I look at the timeline, it's not there. It's the alerts occurred over here. So we give you the context, not only where the alert occurred, but also the time, to allow you to, because the thing about it is, if there's multiple journeys over and back in the same route during a day, and there's an incident, well, which instance of that trip is the alert related to? So I'm going to go back here. I'm getting a yellow alert. So actually, there it is. It's the 5:47 coming back that we got that alert warning. So this is really useful, because not only does it give you the context of where the alert occurred, but it also gives you the context of what direction the vehicle was traveling in at the time. So we can see it was on the route coming back up that we saw this. And you can leave this playback speed open and speed it up and slow it down as the journey goes. I'm going to slow it down now as it's getting closer. Zoom in a little. See, it's approaching our warning event. I'll pause it. And maybe I'll have a quick look at the area. So it's a pretty rural area. Right here. You can see there's so we have poor signal strength just in this area, so which might be expected in rural areas. Okay, so if I go back to the Street View, that's it. So we've replayed the journey a number of times. You can see speeding it up, stopping it. So how do I get back out of GPS replay mode? It's actually, you can exit here, or you can exit here. So we'll exit off here. That gets rid of that one device. I can actually go and search for another device if I want, but I'm not going to. I'm going to exit off here. Brings me back to normal mode. And you can see when you're in the standard map mode, you can see here we've just got the star. We don't have the bell. The bell only appears in GPS replay mode. To launch it again, click on your device, click on your GPS replay, and you're back, and there's the bell again. Okay, and we've had no incidents today. And X it off, brings you back. So that's GPS replay, extremely useful for looking for, I guess, corresponding incidents with their time and their location, especially important for assets that are moving on the map. Okay.